Hello, good morning, everybody. We are here at Norco College to present for their faculty, and the synopsis for the next 3 days is how the mind and body work together for the improvement of logic and reason, producing good patterns. And so stay tuned. Say hello, Lupe.
Hi, guys.
Good morning. Bye-bye. So my name is Wendy Whitmore, and I am the owner of WLW Healing House in the city of Upland, California, also known as Wendy's Life Wellness. Just by the name of my business, can you guess what I do for a living? Anybody? Wellness. But like, you know, I got a whole master's in it. What do you think No. That's a good guess. I mean, you know, we do that. So I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. And so I have a wellness center in the city of Upland. And we focus on both traditional and non-traditional therapeutic engagement, experiences, interventions, whichever word you would like, you could choose from those. So again, my name is Wendy, and this is Lupe. She is one of the therapists that worked for me.
Good morning, everybody.
And so what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing something different. Instead of giving you a presentation and doing all of that great stuff, we are going to incorporate movement and the mind. So yes, you're going to have to stand up. We're going to need some crowd participation. All right. Remember how when the first day of like kindergarten, usually like kindergarten, first, second, and third grade is when they try to, you know, do some what we call icebreakers nowadays when we go to these conferences, because we be sitting there for 8 hours. And at some point we be like, oh my God, like I need to stretch, I need to move. So first off, I'm going to give you a little bit of a synopsis. And so how does movement affect the brain? So the brain is made up of many parts, right? But the three main parts that movement really affects is the hippocampus, the prefrontal cortex, and the amygdala. Does everybody know where those are? Do I have any? So prefrontal cortex, this is where all your good old logic and reason, decision making, all that good stuff that doesn't actually start to develop until the age of about 12, right? And then we have the hippocampus, which is, you know, about here. But the prefrontal cortex is what is known as the CEO of the brain. And then you got the good old amygdala. It's about right here. And this is where all your emotions lie, right? So think about when you were younger and people would ask you, like, why do you do what you do? You had no idea. You know why? Because logic and reason did not start to develop until about 5th, 6th, 7th grade, depending on when you reach, you know, between 11 and 12, right? So movement and the body are one. Why? Because we got serotonin, we got endorphins. Like, you know how they always say, like, why do you exercise? Well, we know why we should be exercising, but what it does is when you exercise, what it does for the brain is that it helps you to gently massage your logic and reason and your decision making, right? Am I making sense? Y'all got to talk back to me. I'm not a professor. Okay, so we're going to go through for the next 3 days. You'll see us bright and early, first thing in the morning. And every single one of the things that we're going to be doing with you is going to be about movement in the brain. So today, what we're going to be focusing on is sense of belonging. So you guys had 3 major concepts for the 3 days. And so we picked those, we stuck with those 3. So we're going to do sense of belonging, right? Everybody wants to feel like they belong, right? Whether you are 5 or 85, right? The sense of belonging is something that everybody wants to feel like they have, right? It's why you choose the person you choose to mate with. It's why when you first show up at the job, you try to figure out like who's going to be your person, right? Who's going to be like your work husband, work wife, you know, who's your work mom, your work dad, right? Everybody needs a sense of belonging. right? That is the only way for things to function and operate well. Because if everybody feels neglected, if everybody feels excluded, then you have a bunch of disgruntled folks, right? So we're gonna focus on sense of belonging. So she's gonna demonstrate, Lupe's gonna demonstrate what we're gonna be doing. This is called same but not. Okay, now remember, we're talking about emotions, logic, reason, and decision making, all right? So just remember that. And you guys, have a little bit of fun with us, okay? And believe it or not, you guys are now participating in group therapy. Which is why I only have the camera on us, because, you know, we believe in HIPAA, y'all. I can't be having y'all business out in the streets. All right, so same but not. All right, so Lupe, I want you to demonstrate what being tired looks like for you. Okay, and being tired for me is right? So literally, with the same exact feeling, we have two different reactions. All right, so what we're gonna do is, yes, this is where the crowd participation comes in. We are going to be pointing out some folks. So you don't have to raise your hand, it's okay, because we're all in here together, okay? And so the one person that we point out, we're gonna give you a word to demonstrate, right? And then everybody else is gonna demonstrate that as well. Yes, you have to stand. You cannot demonstrate it sitting, okay? So, and then everybody else has to demonstrate it. I promise, it's gonna make sense at the end. I'm gonna tie it up with a cute little bow and I'm gonna connect the dots. All right, so who is going to be my first demonstrator? So we are demonstrating, confusion. Even as adults, we got a lot of that too, right? Like we be looking at the kids, well, we be just as confused. I have 4 children, they're all adults. And sometimes they say stuff to me and I'll be like, what the heck are y'all talking about? You know, right? So, all right, who's doing confusion? I mean, you had the beautiful smile this morning, so, all right, so demonstrate confusion. Okay, so everybody, can you please stand? Can you please stand? Your name is?
Xander.
Xander, with X or a Z?
Z.
Oh, I love that. Okay, wait, Xander, you got it? All right, so on the count of 3, everybody demonstrate your version of confusion. So what are you noticing? Are you noticing any similar? Are you noticing any similar reactions? Any similar ones? Or do you feel like you're extremely unique? Okay, our next one is hungry. All right, Lupe, pick somebody for hungry. She's gonna, she said she'll do it. She'll do hungry, okay. We got a volunteer. All right, demonstrate hungry. All right, everybody, 1, 2, 3, hungry. Let's go. I love that one. Who did the let's go? Wait, you know, I have a question. Who, when you heard the word hungry, you thought like sports? Or you thought like, I'm hungry for the win? Because I feel like that's what you, okay. Who else was like, I'm hungry for food? Who else was like, I'm hungry for some free time? I don't know, anybody? Okay, all right, our next one is joy. Joy, who's gonna be? Joy! Who's giving us the first, sir, yes. Joy, what's joy look like for you? Okay, so you're at a concert, at a festival. Okay, got it. All right, everybody, let's give him joy. Joy. Hey, I'm with you. I love festivals. I love concerts. I love live music. Okay, so as you're looking around the room, what are you starting to notice about this sense of belonging and our emotional responses to certain words? What are you guys starting to notice? They're very similar. They're very similar, right? The same, but not. What's our next emotion?
Excitement.
Oh, excitement. Who are you picking for excitement?
Our gentleman right here. Yes.
In the blue shirt?
Yes.
Okay.
me to show you
Excitement.
Yes.
It's like my choice.
That's your excitement.
I'll give you some now.
Okay, give us some notes.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. All right, everybody. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's get it. I literally went into mom mode because most of my kids played sports. So I was the mom who used to be running up and down the soccer field. Yeah. Or my son would be running and I would literally be sprinting with him. So excitement. What's our next one?
Frustration.
Oh,
I heard
frustration.
It
You heard it.
it somewhere.
Who's giving us the first one?
Very good. Frustration.
Okay.
Very good.
All right, everybody, give us frustration.
Oh, there you go.
I can't even say what I was going to say. My frustration comes out with colorful words. Was that our last one?
Frustration. No.
Overwhelmed. 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 Okay, Dana, can you give us overwhelmed? That's your overwhelmed? Oh, are you tapping? All right, everybody, give me overwhelmed. Is that our last one?
Yes.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you. You can have a seat. Okay, so the whole point of demonstrating different emotions and showing how we all demonstrate them, and the whole point of saying but not, right, is for us to see that no matter what we're going through, there's somebody else who's experiencing it the exact same way or very similarly, right? And I think that, if anything, what the pandemic taught us was that we all react to craziness pretty much the same, right? Do you guys remember where you were on March 20th? Or one of them days, right? Where they were like, do not come out your house. Stay home, don't go nowhere. Do you remember your reaction? You guys remember your reaction? What was your reaction? When you were like, woo-hoo? Okay, but 6 months into don't leave your house unless you have to, was your reaction still woo-hoo?
Yes, I'm a total introvert and I was loving it.
Okay. Who was hating it? Who was hating the isolation? Right? So you had some people who were loving it and you had some who were hating it, right? And so this idea of the sense of belonging, right? What it teaches us is that in a room full of people, no one is a stranger, right? When you walk into a space, we automatically assume, our brain automatically starts to try to categorize people, starts to categorize things, right? We're trying to find the familiar. We love a familiar, right? We're creatures of habit. So when we walk into a space, our immediate response is to figure out who we can connect with so that we don't feel alone, right? So what movement does is it allows you to experience a space in its fullness. That makes sense? Or nah, I lost y'all on that one. Make sense? Okay. So I know that there's like a mixed bag of like age groups that show up here on campus, right? But one of the crazy things is that I remember, when I first started taking college courses, walking into these classrooms, and you're dealing with different folks, different personalities, and we're not even talking about the instructor or the professor that's in front of the room, right? And so usually there's this assumption that everybody's supposed to come in and be about their business, but really you got the introverts who's like, I really prefer to be online. You got the extroverts who are like, why do we have to sit for so long, even as adults, right? And so creating an environment and a space where everybody feels like they can belong is something that will, if you use that to set the tone, it shifts the trajectory of the way that people move in your space. So thank you guys.